Hi everyone, I hope you're doing okay. Today I'm just going to do a video on the conditionals. So this term we're going to do all of the conditionals. So today we're just going to start off, we'll just do an introduction to conditionals in general, and then we're going to have a look at the first conditional, okay? So let's have a look up here. I've got this sheet here. So up the top I've got conditionals. Alright, so let's have a look at point number one. Conditionals are used to describe hypothetical situations. Okay, so hypothetical situations are situations that we aren't sure will happen. Okay, for example, we don't know if Donald Trump will be re-elected in November. So that's a hypothetical situation. We don't know. Okay, we're not sure if that will happen in the future. Another hypothetical situation would be that we don't know if it will rain tomorrow. Okay, it might rain, it might not. That's another hypothetical situation. Okay, and because we don't know about these events, we need to make guesses about them. Okay, so yeah, a hypothetical situation is something that we don't know if it will or it won't happen. All right, so let's have a look at point number two. There are 4 conditional patterns in English, and today we're looking at the first conditional. Okay, so sometimes it's also called the real conditional. Okay, so I've got 2 sentences here. So you can see the rainy clouds here. If it is still raining when I get home, I will stay inside and read a book. Okay, so this is your if sentence is your hypothetical situation. That's the thing that we don't know if it's going to happen or not. And then our second clause here is depends on this. Okay, so if it is still raining when I get home, I will stay inside and read a book. Okay. All right, now sentence number 2, you can see I've got my sunny picture here. However, if it is nice and sunny, I will take my dog for a walk. Okay, so this is my hypothetical situation here. If it's nice and sunny, I'm not sure, it might rain, it might be sunny. If it's sunny, I'll take my dog for a walk, but if it's raining when I get home, I will stay inside and read a book. So these are our conditional sentences, all right? Now, it's really important that we understand with the first conditional, the hypothetical situation that we're talking about must be realistic and possible. Okay, so it's not a crazy idea. It's something that is realistic and possible. Okay, it is realistic today because it's winter and the weather's cold. It is realistic that it might be raining when I get home this afternoon. Okay, that's realistic. It's also realistic that it might be nice and sunny. Okay, because you know the weather changes a lot. All right. So, for example, if you contrast that with me becoming Prime Minister, that is not realistic, okay? It is not realistic for me, Simone, to become Prime Minister of Australia, okay, in the next, say, 5 to 10 years. It's not going to happen. It's not realistic. So I can't really use the first conditional for that. I have to use a different conditional that we're going to study later. Okay, another unrealistic situation would be if I don't know, if all the children in the world turned a purple color. It's not going to happen. It's not realistic, okay? If I win, so me winning $5 million in the lotto tomorrow is not realistic because I haven't bought a lotto ticket. So Yeah, so anything that is not realistic or not likely to happen, we cannot use the first conditional. The first conditional is called the real conditional because we are talking about things that could be real, likely events. Okay? All right, so I've got some examples here. And these are all realistic things that could happen. So if I leave work too late, I will ask my husband to get takeaway. This is completely realistic because sometimes I leave work really late. If my son hasn't cleaned his room, I will be pretty angry with him. And this is very realistic because my son never cleans his room and I always get angry with him about it because it's disgusting. If I can get an appointment, I'll get a haircut tomorrow, okay? That's realistic because I really need a haircut. You should stay home from school if you are still unwell in the morning. This is realistic, okay? You'll notice here that in these sentences I've had the if clause or the if clause at the beginning. This time I flipped them around and that's perfectly okay, all right? You can flip them around. I might buy a car next year if I have enough money, okay? And if I stay up and watch this movie, I will be really tired tomorrow morning, okay? And this is very realistic for me because I love movies and I love staying up late and watching them, but I need a lot of sleep, okay? I need 8 hours of sleep at night, otherwise I feel really tired the next day. It must be because I'm getting old. Okay, so these are all examples of first conditionals or real conditionals. If you have a look up here, I've got the form. So I'm just going to highlight that. Where's my highlighter? There it is. Okay, so your form will use if plus present. So here we can see, look, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back. So so that's yellow. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight the if clauses in yellow. So for the if clause, we'll use if plus the present. To take that one off. Okay, so we use if plus the present. So here I've got if I leave work too late. That's my present, okay? If my son hasn't cleaned his room, okay? So that's present perfect, okay? But we're using the present. Leave here is simple present. If I can get an appointment, that's can, but that's talking about the present. You should stay, oh, sorry. Okay, so here, if you are still unwell in the morning, we're still using present. It's still the present, okay? If I have enough money, okay? If I have enough money, we're still using the present. If I stay up and watch this movie, I'll be really tired. So if I stay up and watch this movie. Okay, so so a lot of students have a bit of a problem with this because when we use the if clause, we're talking about the hypothetical future, okay? But it doesn't matter. We still use the present form, okay? So even though we are talking about the hypothetical future in the if clause, we still use the present tense. Okay, that's one thing that students seem to get quite confused with, all right? And often before students learn about the conditionals, they make a mistake and they often will use if plus the future, okay? But you've got to remember that with the first conditional, we use if plus present, okay? And it can be simple present, present perfect, present continuous, yeah, and many things. All right, so the second clause, we use a modal verb, okay? All right, so this one I'm going to highlight in pink, okay? So you can see here, If I leave work to work, I will ask, okay, my husband to get takeaway. All right, so we use a modal verb. So will is your modal verb and ask is your V1, okay? If my son hasn't cleaned his room, I will be pretty angry with him, okay? Same thing, you've got your modal verb. If I can get an appointment, I'll get a haircut tomorrow. Same thing, yeah? I'll get a haircut tomorrow. You should stay home from school if you are still unwell in the morning. So there you go. That's your modal verb. I might buy a car next year if I have enough money. Okay? And if I stay up and watch this movie, I will be really tired tomorrow morning. Beautiful. All right, guys, so I hope that's clear. If you have any questions, you know always to give me a message. But yeah, you have your first conditional practice sheet. So watch this video, do your practice sheet, and I'll catch up with you on our Zoom meeting. Okay, bye.